Okay, welcome to today's Lunch and Learn with yours truly, Dan Hotka. Let me minimize this. Oops, I need to see that, I guess. And page down. There we go. There's my short disclaimer. I am an Oracle ACE director. Lots of articles, lots of books. I need to update this slide a little bit. I think I'm up to 14 books. I do regularly blog. And these are the Monday Lunch and Learns. I'm kind of moved them back to once a month. We're not getting a lot of people participating. If we were getting more people participating, I'd probably run them a bit more often. But at any rate, not a big deal. I think most of you get the reminder. That's why you're here. So just remember that I do training for a living out on Safari Books. If you already have a Safari account, then you can take my training for free. It is self-paced, video on demand. You can purchase the courses as well. I also can come on site or do a course over the web for you and your staff members. So there's a short list of courses that I do. Active SQL is a cool routine that little program that I just wrote that shows the current executing SQL. Answers the question, why is my system slow? Works with any Oracle database. Actually, I think it's like Oracle 10, Oracle 11, Oracle 12. Works great on Standard Edition. It uses the $SQL. So I'm just going after things in the current library cache, no history, no AWR. I also have found some advanced explain plan content that I embedded into this tool as well. It's very affordable. Would like to contact me if you're more interested in it. Would love to give you a demo, you and your staff, a live demonstration of the thing, see if we can't get it into your shop. I also, Bert and I updated the Toad book, so we've got the new Toad book is out. A lot of the stuff from this presentation, the one that I'm going to do next time, April, the April Lunch and Learn will be on partitioning. All the new partitioning features, including Release 2. A lot of the material that I get for these new features comes from Robert Freeman's books. So today we're going to talk about the Pluggable Database, navigating the Pluggable Database, and some features in and around the Pluggable Database. In next Lunch and Learn, I'm going to talk about all of the partitioning features, and I have some really great syntax examples, and I have Oracle 12 Release 2 features that I'm going to cover in that presentation as well. So in the chat window, if you could be so kind as to let me know if you're already running Oracle 12, which database you're currently on. I'm kind of interested your role, if you're a power user, an analyst, a developer, or a DBA type, or maybe even management, and then your Oracle background. So if you can open the chat window and put a little information in there, it does help me, gives me an idea who I'm attracting to these webinars as well. So the Pluggable Database. Andy Mendelsohn did this a year ago at Open World, talked about the 3 C's. The fact that it's a container database. You can use it to consolidate databases, and the C could stand for the cloud environment. A container database is a database that contains other databases, okay? And this is the new environment from Oracle, one set of executables, one set of memory structures, but yet multiple databases can share this environment. Oracle's really going nuts with this. This is their stated direction, and it makes it very easy for the next step to consolidate databases that have common shared resources, such as RAC, such as backup and recovery schemes, such as DataGuard, things like that. The nice part about consolidation is, instead of migrating, patch management, and updating all these individual environments, you update the container database, the main one, and everything inherits those changes. So the consolidation is really quite nice. particularly for the DBA and the people who have to do this type of management. And of course, you can unplug a database and plug it right into a cloud environment. Makes it very easy to take your existing application environment and put it into the Oracle Cloud. So basically how it works is you have, let me see if I can get scribble on this. Up here at the Pluggable Database, or the Container Database, and then you've got the Pluggable Databases down here. Okay, and the Container Database is the mothership. It's got its own catalog, contains the common users. It also contains a seed database. Okay, the seed database is particularly nice. I have a DBA friend here in Des Moines that they manage well over 200 Oracle instances. To put up a new instance used to be, well, not a timely process, but it did take a little bit of time to install the software, whatever. Now it's just a matter of making a copy. It is just almost a single command to set up another database in a pluggable container database environment. And then the actual PDBs is what would be like a standard Oracle instance today, or what Oracle is now calling a non-CDB database. So basically it's one set of executables, okay, one set of executables, and you share everything. You're sharing all the resources. You're sharing the disk drives. And if you have flash disk and some of the technologies that I've been pushing in the tuning environment, it shares those as well. And again, it really eases the management of a lot of similar database environments. So Oracle 12 release, the first release really supports up to 252. I'm under non-disclosure not to talk about things. They talked about to us at the special meetings at Oracle Open World. So when they talk about it, I can talk about how many more they're going to handle on top of this with Oracle 12 Release 2, but go with the thought that there will be more, not less. Users can share the Pluggable Databases environment. These are called common users, okay? And I'm going to talk a little bit about how I would set this up. You can also connect to them with SQL+, the database installer, the Enterprise Manager, Cloud Control, SQL Developer, about any tool. And I'm going to show you next. Here's a container database, and the container name, the service name is very important. This one's taken the Oracle standard ORCL. Okay, so if I connect, I set up a TNS names entry for this with this service name. Now I'm connecting to the container database. Okay, and you've got root, you got sys and system up here. You got the C##, the common users. You got your RMAN users. You got your backup and recovery schemes and stuff like that. Okay, they can share common disk drives. They can share temporary table spaces. The data can share table spaces at the container level. Now, if you're going to be unplugging and plugging in your databases to other environments, you might not want to share anything. So you'd have your own table spaces assigned at the pluggable level, okay? And then these would move when you move the database. Notice a different service name. So again, your TNS names entry would point to this, okay? Everybody has their own system and sysocs table spaces. Why? Because even the pluggable databases have their own catalogs, okay, and their own things that they're keeping track of. So there's common services at the container database, and then there's application services at the pluggable environment. And if this is a rack environment, they all have and can participate in the rack. Now, to navigate this, use this alter statement. And I'm kind of expecting, as Oracle comes out with newer tools and stuff, I'm expecting a button on the tools to do the navigation. But you can navigate to these pluggable databases as well from one to another. As long as you have connect privileges to it, you certainly can. And if you're logged in as system at the container database, you can certainly switch over. And basically, this is what I do, is I connect as system. I alter session set container to my pluggable database environment. I'll come over here and set up a DBA type of an account for that application. And then everything gets set up via that DBA account. Pretty much a traditional standalone instance then. And that's basically how I do things. But if I had a very fast disk drive or flash disk, I might put my temporary table spaces on it and then let the pluggable databases each share that extremely fast environment. So keep those things in mind. Oracle 12 release 1, actually they call this, it's like a sub-release 2. You can do cross Pdp queries. There's a con ID now, so the connection where the database gets plugged in, the pluggable database, there is a container ID now. So now you can code queries to go cross containers in queries. So you don't need to set up database links. This should be a whole lot faster. The downside, do pay attention to the downside here though. The downside is it's less flexible if you code this way. I'm hoping to see a synonym for these in the future so that we can code common SQL that is not hard-coded to particular container IDs. So standby database, no logging clause at the PDB level, and you can set PDBs at the table space level. The other new Oracle 12.1 feature, it really doesn't apply to pluggable databases, but it's in memory. The in-memory features also apply to the pluggable database environments. So, very next slide. I'm sorry. I didn't know if I was going to talk about that. So, there is support for the new in-memory solutions, support for flashback options, and maintains the state of the PDBs between database restarts, i.e. their connection ID. And also if they were plugged in or not plugged in at the time you took the database down. So when it comes back up, they're at the same state they were when the database went down. Some of the problems are the synonyms. You want to pay attention to the second point here. You really do want to do some planning when going to these pluggable environments, and I would encourage you to check into these and see about moving to these, especially if you're in a shop that has large numbers of databases with common things like rack environment, common backup schemes like standby database and data guard and some of those options. It really does make the DBA's life a whole lot easier. It does share a lot, utilizes the resources on the machine a whole lot better. So, anyway, do keep it in mind. You do have to do a little bit of planning, maybe common schema names and stuff. You maybe need to rename some stuff, perhaps. I don't know. Might be a good time to review the installation of the application and see if there's any cleanup that needs to happen. So what we talked about in this Lunch and Learn is some new database features, primarily the pluggable database. I am doing some tweaks now. Basically what I do with Twitter is when I have a good blog or a good article that I've posted is I'll post a link out there on my Twitter account. So again, thank you very much. Let me check the chat window and see if there's any chats. But otherwise, thank you very much for participating.